don't know, but so Punk Gargan, first of all, welcome to the stream. Second of all, I just don't like, between my version and the test version, it's almost identical. It's just, for some reason, when my character gets spawned in, the movement isn't working. Let's further dissect that, I guess. We need more experimentation. So let's remove their first person. Okay. Let's add my first person controller. This is mine now. And we need the player input controller. And we need the movement player input handler for this to work. And let's set this to be the same, 3, 1.8. Okay. Yeah, let's do 4. Okay. And this should be 0.05. Okay. Okay. And then do we have to do anything else? Oh, we need something that actually ties it to it, which I think I have. What do I call it on the other one? First person player character. Player character. Apparently, player character has a need for an inventory. It does. Okay. All right, so now if I go back to here, and we're going to spawn this new test guy. Okay. Nothing's working now. Not even my spinny. Let's make sure everything's wired up. Oh. This is missing the receiver, that's why. Okay. So that was supposed to happen automatically. All right. Okay, the camera's spinning again, and it's moving. What? What is going on? Okay. Should this be? Why isn't this triggering on validate? Okay. So we rewired those up. See if that works. Still not moving. Oh boy. This would suck if I have to build this character controller from scratch again. Just wish I can understand why this thing is not moving. Okay, now it's... Now it stopped moving. But there's an error. Equipment controller. Because it does some stuff in awake. So let's just player tool select. So let's remove tool select for now. Okay. So now I'm stuck. So if we go back to here and let's remove the inventory handler. Okay. I think Tapir might have been onto something. Or whoever suggested that it was in one of the other settings. Like it thinks it's in crafting or something. So if I remove gameplay, I can move. Okay, so we figured out the problem. Okay, so let's get to that. And, which makes sense, gameplay, because that's the one I separated this out from. That makes sense, and maybe I missed something when I was working with this. So if I put this back, well, the thing is, it's supposed to be only enabling the ones I tell it to, but I think. See, I don't. Let me try saving this asset. I don't understand why adding this one is. Oh, wait. Yeah, no. Oh, wait, why is this? Why is this passing to input receivers? That shouldn't be there. I think we might have found the bug. There we go. That's what the bug was. So in my current system is I have an input controller that picks all the input handlers up and then asks them to, like, I pass an input object to the input handler, and then that input handler sets any relevant data to the input handler, to this input object, right? So the handler is like updating field in the input handler. And then I take that object and I pass that to the receivers, and the receivers then like pluck out the actual input that they care about. Almost like a blackboard, right? Like the player character inputs is like the blackboard that I'm writing everything to, and then I'm passing it to the receivers, and the receivers are reading the data that they care about. I guess at some point I had the gameplay input handler doing that. So what was happening was on awake, I was getting all the receivers that were on the object, and I was saying set inputs here. When I call that, it's sending this object that I'm creating. So actually this is wrong. This is all wrong. Okay, so yeah, this is wrong. So first of all, I don't need to. This doesn't need to pass data to the input handler, because what was happening was this was overriding basically anything I was doing. It's creating a new object here, setting these values, and then passing it to the receivers. And if you notice, movement and look are not here, so it's losing the data. Now, what I should be doing is what I'm doing in movement, where there's this collect input function. So this should actually be public override void collect inputs. And instead of creating an object here, I should be doing this. So we get rid of this, we get rid of this. So we say that, and so now we're setting these flags on the object that we're passing in. We're resetting our local frame flags. We don't need to do this in update anymore because we're processing it elsewhere. Okay. So, okay. So now this is part of that system. Put handler. Yep. So now I can go back to prefabs. I can delete first person character because that was the test one we were using. We can go back to test scene. We could use our original player object. We can drop in. And now we can move. And everything seems to be working correctly. So now we can go back to our main scene. Okay. This is good. All right, so that last thing we have to restore is the looking up and down. So let's go to our player object. And in our first, because we're going to kind of do what they did, is add a serialized field, private transform. We'll call this camera rig. Okay. And then we'll create a public virtual void, add control pitch inputs, float value. We're going to have a float in, float max. And actually, we're going to steal what they're doing in their sample. Give it a second to compile. So if we go to their example, and look at their first person character, add control pitch input. They're doing the same thing. They're passing in some values here. We'll do the same thing here. I'll actually just copy this. Let's close other tabs and then open ours. So this is ours. Copy this. Okay, so we're getting a value. We're going to be able to set the min and the max. But instead of camera pitch, we're going to call it camera rig. Oh, actually, okay, so we need a float to store this. Float camera pitch, okay. Now this is being called from the same spot as here. So we're going to jump over to here. Controller, add control pitch, inputs, look vector Y. Okay. We're going to use their math lab. Why not? We're using their character controller, so we'll use their clamp angle function. Okay. And then I believe what they do is they do it in a late input. Late update. But I'm going to do it in our update. Because the reason why they're doing that is because that is the Unity main camera. In their example scene, their Unity main camera is parented or is a child of the parent that we're moving. So they're doing this in a late update so that that object gets to get updated first, and then the camera will happen after that. Or the body of everything gets moved first, and then the last thing we do is we adjust the thing that the camera's attached to. But because we're using Cinemachine, Cinemachine does that for us automatically. Here. So if we go to Cinemachine, may not be here, maybe on the Cinemachine brain, I think. Yeah, I think it's on the Cinemachine brain. I go to main camera. Yeah, see, blend update method, late update. Or actually, I think it's this is the update method. Is smart update. Uses fixed update. If all your targets are animated during fixed update, rigid body late update. If all your targets are animated during the normal update too. So actually, let's change this to late update. Let's just set that up to late update. So it will update this camera on late update, which is what we want. But so we need to do this part in our first person controller. guess in an update method. So private void update camera rig, and then private void update camera rig. I could drop the one line in there, but this is already a transform. So camera rig, local rotation, using quaternion lure, and the camera pitch. So I believe that should work. So now we should be able to look up and down. Nope, still not working. Nope, because I did not assign the rig, I think. Yeah. I have an error, and I don't even have to look at it because I think I know what it is already. Yep, camera rig's not assigned because I created it and then I didn't do it. So camera rig, we set that to camera rig, save. Rookie mistake, rookie Unity dev mistake. We all make it. There we go, okay. It's inverted. So let's look at our movement script. We have an invert mouse setup. Let's just change this to that. There we go. Okay. I'm actually curious why. If we make that minus value and then go back to here and undo that, is that? Excuse me. Guess that's good. And now my my gameplay doesn't seem to be working, so let's double check that. Let's go to here where we spawn the player. We're disabling gameplay, we're disabling movement, we're waiting for the next frame, popping up the main menu. Then we spawn the player, we hide the main menu, we turn on the gameplay menu, we turn on the alerts menu, overlay rather. We enable gameplay, and we enable movement. So now if I go back to gameplay, Oh,